Does my shaft seal replacement part have to be an exact match, or are there acceptable substitutes? I think I have a seemingly older above ground sand filter pool pump, and the pump would leak out the bottom center of it. My research indicates that the shaft seal needs to be replaced, but I can't find the exact replacement part. The 5/8 inch size seems popular, but I don't want to order the wrong one or do a shotgun order, i.e. ordering a bunch of parts and having to return them later. Is this something you've dealt with? Does my shaft seal replacement part have to be an exact match?
Okay, so this is actually a really good question. It's a complex question, but simple. To explain, you have a motor, that's the metal part. There's a shaft seal, there's a metal seal that comes up. I mean a metal rod that comes up, the shaft itself. And then there's the pump, that's the whole plastic housing pump that moves the water. The electric motor turns this shaft that turns the impeller and makes water move. Well, to keep water from running from in the plastic part into the metal part, there's a shaft seal. And the pump parts are in two different pieces, something that's mounted to the motor and then something that you bolt to it. Well, there's that piece in the back has a molded spot for a shaft seal. And what the seal is, it's a piece of ceramic. There's a piece of ceramic there, and then there's one on the front, and when they spin on each other, they're held down so no water can get through there, but they spin on each other and they're made of ceramic so they can take the heat and they don't crack. If that cracks, water can now get through and get down into your pump itself and then ruin the motor or leak into the ground like it sounds like we're having here. So the key to the shaft seal is that it seats into that molded piece of plastic. And the reason that this gets complicated is because different manufacturers made seals differently. There is a ceramic seal that is a ceramic, looks like a tire with an O-ring around the outside. That O-ring had to fit tightly into that little setting in the back of the pump. That same seal could be purchased with a rubber boot. So now you have like this donut of ceramic, and then it sits inside this whole rubber boot thing with a hole in the middle. Either one of those are acceptable. They're two very different parts, but as long as the rear seal, the piece that goes into the pump or into the motor side of the pump, as long as that seats in and seals properly, you're okay. And as long as then, if you take that, then there's another piece of the seal that goes onto the impeller. As long as ceramic is spinning on ceramic, you'd be okay. Now, how do you know exactly that? Well, it's certainly the size of whatever that pump, that back of that pump is what you have to, that's the whole gizmo right there. That's the whole seal part. Whatever spins on it can be almost anything, but that thing seats in properly. And if that's not the right size, and it doesn't mean the ceramic isn't the right size, but the gasket that it sits in or the O-ring that surrounds it, that's what you have to be worried about. And as long as that seats properly, any seal would work. The problem is the diameter of that molded plastic or fiberglass piece varies. So really the only way that you could use a different seal from a different pump, but you have to know, does that part fit? The part on the pump, not on the impeller, not nearly as important as that part on that rear part of the pump housing itself. So the answer is yes, a different seal would work. The challenge is you might have to shotgun buy a bunch of different ones and see which one fits. So hopefully that helps. It probably makes it more confusing, but really it's the part on the motor side of the pump housing that has to fit properly.